Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting radio-exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Hose. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethose.com/terms.
My son's name is Andrew. Having him and losing him on the same day was the most emotional thing ever in my life.
Welcome to Still a Part of Us, a place where moms and dads share the story of their child who was stillborn or who died in infancy. I'm Winter.
And I'm Lee. We are grateful you joined us today. Please note that this is a story of loss and has triggers.
Thanks to our lost parents who are willing to be vulnerable and share their children with us.
If you're listening to this podcast, just know that on our YouTube channel there are pictures and videos that are related to the stories that are being shared.
Subscribe and share it with a friend that might need it and tell them to subscribe. Why? Because people need to know that even though our babies are no longer with us, they're still a part of us.
Vadym, I would personally thank you for coming on to talk to me about your beautiful son, Andrew. I've been able to
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. I've been able to look at the photos that you and your wife, Nataliia, have sent. I'm truly just so sorry. So sorry that this has happened to you. Would you please,
Thank you.
please, for those who are going to be listening, would you introduce yourself, introduce your wife, and tell us a little bit about yourselves?
Sure. My name is Vadim. I'm 38 years old. My wife's name is Natalia. We originally are from Ukraine, but moved to Ireland for quite a long time now.
Yeah.
We are both working in IT and have had technical education back in Ukraine, had some work there as well. We met, we were attending the dance classes, same dance classes. It was West Coast Swing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I got there. My university mates were like going there and invited me as well. And that's how we met, and we knew each other for quite a while before we became together.
Now I have a question.
Sure.
Even though you met at a West Coast Swing class, do you like to dance? Yeah. Or were you just like, yeah, I'll come, I guess?
Oh, well, it definitely was like fun times. The community was really great.
Yeah.
We had all these events actually around the world that we came to visit and experience all those different countries. Dancing community, particularly for West Coast Swing, is also very diverse and like global.
Yeah.
So it was definitely like lots of fun times, lots of friends all over the world, and in Ukraine as well.
Do you still dance? Do you still do West Coast Swing with Nataliia? Or?
Yeah, well, occasionally, but not as much. Surprisingly, here in Ireland, it's not very popular. I think more Latin dances like salsa are more popular. So occasionally there are some classes as well. We attend this one. Last time we were asked to come and help the beginner group, teacher assistants. almost.
Well,
So yeah, but
that's so
definitely
awesome.
not as often as it used to be.
Not as often, but I'm sure you dance a whole lot in your front living room. You know, you turn the music on and
Occasionally,
you spin Natalia around.
sometimes we like, oh, do we still remember how to do it? Let's try.
Yeah. Winter, my wife Winter, she loves to dance, and I'm not a big dancer, but she has dragged me to a couple dance classes. And I say she's dragged me, and I truly mean that she has had to drag me to the class. So I've got two left feet, Vadim. I've got two left feet.
I'm not that prodigy in it as well, but it's fun. I like it, and I like the feeling, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. Well, wonderful. So you guys met at a dance class. You hung out together. You dated. Got married.
yeah, we knew each other for quite a while before we went on the first date,
Mm-hmm.
and then yeah, I think we were officially together for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And then actually this opportunity to move came in.
Mm-hmm.
So it sort of speed up some important life decisions,
Yeah.
or should I say, just clear them and formalize them, what
Yeah.
was actually already in fact happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how we got married shortly before we moved.
I love Ireland. I have some of my ancestry from Ireland. How has that move been for you? Different
Yeah,
weather, I'm
well,
assuming. Different.
it is different, but at the same time, the more we live here, the more I find similarities.
Yeah.
For example, in history between Ireland and Ukraine, and very nice people as
Mm-hmm.
well, very welcoming. And yeah, somehow it really felt, for me anyway, like home
Okay.
quite fast. Actually, it's another funny story. Just a year before we moved, I had another opportunity, offer for work, but I had to go to the interviews
Yeah.
in person to Ireland. So we visited a year before for like a week, did a tour of country, and I thought wow, this is really great place. Wish I could live here. Unfortunately, that work didn't
Pan
work
out.
out.
Yeah.
The interview I failed.
Ah.
But who knew? In
Yeah.
just a year, I definitely did not expect the other opportunity turned out, and here I am.
Yeah. You manifested it into the
It it
universe.
definitely feels like that. If it didn't happen, I wouldn't believe it, but that's what happened.
Yeah. Maybe the fairies and the fey creatures in Ireland.
Definitely.
They pulled you in. Now, what are some hobbies besides dancing that you do occasionally nowadays? What are some hobbies that you have?
Uh, my hobbies are quite nerdy. I like
Well,
I like
you're talking to a nerd here, Vadim. Don't worry.
okay. I like my work is partly my hobby, but I also like electronics. Also like tinkering with stuff, and yeah, so it's some tech related things,
Mm-hmm.
or trying to work on something. Recent thing that I really enjoy is 3D printing, like
Okay, yeah.
designing some practical things. I've did bunch of stuff around the house already
Well, nice.
for that. So yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, functional 3D printing. Woohoo.
Yeah,
I,
yeah, I totally recommend it. It's fun.
I've got a 3D printer myself. My friend has I don't know how many 3D printers at his house. And this one was in a box and he told me, I'm never going to use it. Do you want it?" And I was like, "Sure." I have no clue what I'm doing, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, fun. You 3D print, other electronics and technical stuff and programming on the side, I'm assuming.
Yeah, yeah, things like that.
Well, fun.
Well, we became more outdoorsy
Yeah.
somehow here in Ireland as well. So we like go hiking quite
Mm-hmm.
often. Yeah, so I like that too. Well, nothing too original, I
Hey,
guess.
well, it's such beautiful country that it's easy to escape into the fabulous forest and fabulous fields. So,
Yeah,
well, wonderful.
evergreen
It is evergreen.
place.
Emerald fields. So
Yes.
now, should we talk about you and Natalia and planning a family? When did you guys decide it's time to have a child? Or was it a happy accident and you said, "Oh,
No, it was more like we decide, like there always like something keeping you think,
yeah.
oh, I don't have that, or I don't still didn't do that, or
Mhm.
whatever. We've settled, so like we got our home, and like nothing. We are out of excuses.
Yes. Yes, there's
And
always
yeah, another
excuses.
thing is like the phase of life, like the age as well.
Mhm.
We were trying for some time, so we
Yeah.
like almost were starting to get concerned
Mhm.
if we haven't missed the moment. We actually did go also to do the tests and explore the fertility maybe treatment that would
Uh-huh.
be required, but just like once we got there and were becoming all concerned and serious about it, like after all those appointments that we had, magic happened just by itself.
Sort of like you
um,
saying, "I would love to live in Ireland," and it happened. You guys were
yeah,
saying,
I guess. um,
we
I
we
guess
should have a child
it's
and let's figure out how. And it happens.
Well, you can say that, but I think also a bit of a more structured approach and,
Yeah. Mhm.
calendar tracking, all
Yeah.
those tricks, because apparently it is very, very important. It's not that easy to get pregnant just because of like how we are created as
Yeah.
humans. Like there are days,
Yeah.
special days. It's not like any day. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It seems like some people have no problems and some people have all the problems to get pregnant. Winter and I, we also had issues getting pregnant. And there we have friends who they think about getting pregnant and it happens. So
Yeah,
you guys had a little bit of a struggle and then you were starting to get professional help
yeah,
and it worked.
yeah. We like kept trying in parallel to that. Like we were sort of reluctant to go into full fertility
Mm-hmm.
treatment
Yeah.
because it has some side effects and
Yeah.
whatnot. All those scary things that you read on the internet. So we kept trying and hoping for the best and trying to do whatever you can do just naturally, as
Mm-hmm.
as I said, like tracking the cycle, taking those special tests to
Yeah.
figure out the right moment, and luckily that worked.
Oh, good. When Natalia told you that she was pregnant, how did you feel? Were you extremely excited? Were you sort of like, "Oh no, I'm now going to be a father." The next step is I'm a father.
Well, I definitely felt both excited and maybe anxious because of
Yeah. Yeah.
taking it serious,
Mhm.
and like it's all the responsibility.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I did want it, and for quite a while,
Yeah.
so it's not like a surprise thought or
Yeah.
whatever. And as I said, we've been trying testing, and then one day the tests, one test positive, second test. Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
Yeah. I felt the same way. I was very excited, but then as you said, I was also anxious. Now I have to be responsible. I have to teach a child. I have to teach them not to touch a hot stove. I have to teach them not to put their hand in a dog's mouth.
Yeah, definitely. All those thoughts about what you have to teach.
I haven't
Sometimes
even
it
learned
feels
them.
like I don't mind, to learn myself still a thing or two. But well, in that regard, it was exciting. Well, I ordered some books because I'm like that person going to,
Yeah. Yeah.
trying to figure out the topic. So I read the book. I found some, like, I don't remember the name, but there is like Amazon bestseller about the pregnancy, all the intricacies, how it goes,
Yeah.
like how do you prepare, what you do at which stages, and how you prepare for birth, and like all those things. I think Natalia took a different approach. She's more of a visual learner, so she studied YouTube with all the the stories there and information available about everything. Yeah, and I was reading the book because like that's what I'm more into.
Yeah. Well, nice. How did the pregnancy, of course, as a man, we aren't experiencing everything that being pregnant
Yeah.
entails. But how were you doing? How was Nataliia doing? How was it progressing?
Well, definitely it was more on Natalia with
Mm-hmm.
all the physical changes, and I was just there trying to support Nask and figure things. But yeah, well, I was observing.
Yep.
It's not like I had anything. I think the pregnancy went like pretty well and smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Natalia did not have much of times where she felt extremely bad, just like maybe a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Depends. Some people feel sick all the time, and she definitely had those moments as well. But well, she says it was not as bad,
Yeah.
and I can confirm. So yeah, it was all good. We obviously figured like what's the process, how do you went to GP, and they advised like how do you track the milestones, go to
Yeah.
doctors when and such. So we did all that. Other than that, we both kept working and like enjoying the time as much as we could. We actually visited our friends in Czech Republic, so went over to them because they were about to move to a different country,
Yeah.
and we've never been at their place, so we visited there. And sometime during that time, we've brought our parents over, our moms, to share the news.
Oh, very nice.
So that was nice. Yeah, but other than that, was good, calm times.
Yeah. Now, first of all, what time of year did you find out that you guys were pregnant? Was it springtime, fall, summer? I guess spring, fall, summer, winter.
Yeah, so I think it was spring early.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember. I think yes. I don't remember exact moment.
And so the springtime is beautiful. The summertime, Natalia's starting to show that she's pregnant. And then you start to get into the fall time when she's really pregnant.
Yeah.
everything was looking good throughout most of the pregnancy? Was there any concerns that were brought up, or?
No, we had all our tests showing fine. The scans that they did
Mm-hmm.
was all right, and like the development based on the metrics they measure the
Yeah.
belly, and
Yeah.
was all good. We usually we had a doctor's visit. One time we go to our GP, and another one to the clinic. So we got our OB-GYN doctor there in the clinic, and because farther in pregnancy, it became like harder for Natalia,
Yeah.
to go drive there. It was like in city center. So there was an opportunity go for these visits to like local clinic
Mm-hmm.
where
Like a
they have
midwife,
midwife-led care.
Yeah.
So basically, same checks, but it's like clinic that is really close to us here once a week. So you just book and come. And yeah, we just went on last previous visit. We asked our doctor if that's a possibility, so that we just switch to that because it's more nearby. And doctor said, yeah, no concerns. You're doing all good, and that's what we did. And I think we had like initial visit there just to check in for this clinic because we were
Yeah.
new there.
Yeah.
And then on the next scheduled one is where everything started to happen really fast.
Now, this would be in the late stages of the pregnancy.
Yeah,
Would it be about
it's
35, 36 weeks, or?
it's 37, I believe, weeks.
Uh-huh.
I think it's 37 and some days.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically on that day, when this was scheduled, Natalia, this obviously she's very pregnant and like
Yeah.
big belly, but no obvious concern or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She's dealing with it, relaxing as much as possible because she
Yeah.
was already on a leave, so she didn't work. And well, like they tell you to watch for the movement,
Yeah.
and so about the movement, actually, we were kind of having doubts in terms of like no one tells you exact metrics. They say all kids are different.
Yeah.
Some kick more often, some kick less often. But what you need to be mindful of is if a sudden change happens. No change
There was
from
no
our
change.
perspective, so we were like calm. Okay, well, we asked few times like, oh, there were this amount of kicks, that amount of kicks, and they say doctors, yeah, no, it's fine. Scans show fine. So we had like that baseline. It was not
Yeah.
very geeky, and yes,
Yeah.
just our unique baby. So we were not concerned there too. So it was regular scheduled visit, although Natalia felt like heavy. But again, it was expected because it was so close
Yeah.
already coming. So I went to work regularly, and because it's so close, she said like I'll go myself for this check. And she went there, and then I got a call from her saying that the midwife who was examining her like say that the measurement her belly is like too big
Oh,
based on the term,
the
and she
gestational week.
has concerns, and that we should better go and check with the doctors in the the clinic with the OB-GYN.
Now,
Um,
was this the original clinic that you had already been going to, and then you switched to the midwife, and they said go back to your original
yes,
clinic?
so that's how it works. It's
Yeah,
all part of the same
same.
network here
Yeah,
in Ireland. They are aware of everyone. It's
yeah,
the same midwives. It's just, one day a week they come closer to the patients,
yeah,
and so
yeah,
that moms can book and uh, not drive all the way.
yeah,
But that's how it works. If everything is fine, then midwife says it's all fine. If
yeah.
midwife has any concerns, they immediately send you to the doctor
Okay.
for further examinations, and that's what happened in our case. So yeah, I've drove immediately after that call home to Natalia, and we went on to the clinic
Yeah.
um, to do the checks.
Did they do ultrasounds at the clinic, or what kind of checks were they performing?
Yeah, so when we came in, we were like instructed to go. They have like a special queue for expecting parents who have some, concerns
Yeah,
or were sent there. Like some people just come there because, for example, they notice a change in the kicking pattern,
yeah,
or feeling not particularly great. And most of the time, they say they just check everything is fine. They calm parents down and say, yeah, go through it, survive this time. It may be
yeah,
hard, but and like we went at the very same queue. They took us in, and basically they put this device that tries to listen to the heartbeat
yeah,
to find it and to monitor. And well, I think they try to look in for it, and they also noticed that the belly was rather big. So
mm-hmm.
they had, as far as I remember, they had some struggle a bit to find it, like find the right spot.
Yeah.
But then they found, and there was heartbeat. So okay, uh, but then I'm trying to remember.
So
They
they were able to find the
Yeah.
heartbeat, but
Yes,
there was still concerns because
the
Natalia's belly was
concerns
so
because of the size
large.
of the
Yeah.
belly, and Natalia wasn't feeling particularly great, like
Uh-huh.
back pain, and I think,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so I think I'm trying to think they were also trying to do this test, when they sort of can give you like a water or some sweet syrup or
Yeah.
something to make the
The baby
kid
move.
be more active.
Yeah.
So they were trying to do that as well. So we spent some time, waiting for that. And I think at that time they were not happy with how it went. Like
Mm-hmm.
it didn't, the count of kicks was not
Where it should have been. Yeah.
should have been, yes, expected to be more often. So like we stayed all that time while like then we were asked to go to a doctor for an ultrasound.
Uh-huh.
So we went to another room, and the doctor did an ultrasound. Well, it was for us, we not that good at reading the ultrasound, so it was like hard to read whatever. But now that I'm backtracking, I think we saw what doctors saw and what made them concerned, and they didn't tell us immediately, but
Yeah.
it was obvious from them that the doctor just saw something,
Yeah.
and he says, okay, we need to do further investigation to reconstruct all the
Yeah.
sequence of.
Now,
Yeah, go on.
you had been at work, and the day was just a normal day. It started out as a normal day,
Yes.
Then you got a call from Natalia saying, hey, we need to go into the clinic.
Yeah.
Were you, from the get-go, were you sort of concerned? Or were you just like, oh, we're at the end of the pregnancy. This is the end of pregnancy stuff. Or were you starting to feel concerned?
Now that I think about it, I didn't become like immediately concerned. Definitely it was like unusual, but
But you're at the end of the
I
pregnancy,
still, yes, exactly. Like, because Natalia had before like situation where, like, I don't know, you feel maybe you ate something and you like feel a bit bloated about that, and then it like resolved and everything went okay. And I thought, okay, let's be careful, like, cautious. If there is a concern, we will do and check, of course. But like Andrew was like kicking, we tried to take it like whatever we knew, not to overthink it, and let's go test and check whatever is needed.
And so when you got to the clinic and they started running all these tests, were you then starting to get more concerned about the situation? Or were you still in the mindset?
We're starting to, like, it was not clear from like which perspective, like what's happening. It was not clear what's the problem can be, how serious it is. And I think another thing I'm remembering is that they measured Natalia's blood pressure, and it was slightly elevated. And that's what also hinted the midwife, because there is this preeclampsia, which it's like common sign. So maybe the blood pressure was not all right, and that's something that. But then, like, we are close to the term, and well, we knew it can happen, and but there are many happy stories where like people can deal with it and still have healthy babies and so on. So it was not. We started to understand that something is not all right, but we couldn't understand how exactly, and like what does it mean for us. I guess when we like, next thing that I remember happened is, again, I may be missing something, because that period of time and time after, it exists in my memories as like flashes of things, where I remember clearly things, but I don't necessarily remember which order they were in, or like how it evolved. So they have this regular ultrasound machines, which I don't know, have some resolution, like basic one that is enough for regular checkups. And because the doctor saw something, they advised that we should go and do the scan, more detailed scan with the anatomy, like the one that babies do at like 20 weeks or so, that regular mandatory checks where you can see all the everything basically. So I think we waited a little bit for that, because it was already turned into evening time. And they took us in the same room where we did all our previous this milestone scans. And this lady who's like a doctor doing the scan and then interpreting it for you, she looked at it, and I think she just said, "That's not right." And pointing to Andrew's head, like she did the scan, where you see all the little fingers, everything. But then when she did a scan of his head, and you expect, and that's what we saw in previous scans, like a little picture of like a walnut where the brain is. That's like how it looks like. There was something definitely not looking like that. It was a mess.
Oh.
And the doctor, she was like very like mindful, and anyway, that's how I felt, like very delicate, but she told the way it was, like directly, that something is not right and it's seriously not right.
Okay.
And I think that's like where, for me anyway, it became this throughout the rest of the events. Often I felt like I was not there in myself, but I was observing it from side or something. It was like happening not with us, not to us.
You were sort of watching it from
like
a play.
How do you comprehend that they suddenly like tell you like everything goes right, and all before this, whatever, the midday, all was calm and in order, and whatever, and now they say there is like some terrible problem with Andrew's brain. And they tell us like that they are sorry, and like I still don't understand what does that mean, because I don't know, at that time it's like hard to describe what was going through my mind, because we read many things, what can go wrong, all those bits that you wish you didn't do, and then hard to sleep. But we knew that there are many things that can go wrong, and it was like not clear what does it mean. Like, does it mean that he'll have some, I don't know, disability or some problems? What exactly does this mean? But like you've heard that there is something seriously not right, and I don't know. I think we spent some time in there, like holding each other hands. I don't remember. I think Natalia, between us two, she is a calm one. I am like the one who's like getting too nervous, but like this time, I think she was also like the realization taken on her, and like starting to actually hitting that it is serious and it's something is happening.
Were they able to figure out what was happening with Andrew's brain?
So,
or were they
what they said is that the brain is like seriously affected. There is water in his head, and like water in the brain, it's also like those conditions that we knew about. What does it mean? There are some things that doctors can fix, like they put the drainage if it's like early enough, and people like live complete normal lives.
Is this called hydrocephalus?
Hydrocephalus, exactly. That's
I'm
the
so
name
sorry.
of it. So, like, obviously, I hoped it's something like that, or I don't know, hoped for
that they could fix something
for the best of it. Yes, that it's something that we can solve somehow, and so we spent there for some time, and I think they've asked for OB/GYN that was on. A doctor that's like on schedule there, like
the on-call.
On-call doctor, who's like she should be the one who, if there is a cesarean or like doing the delivery, she's like the doctor doing that, but she's like on call. So they invited to have a look at it, and on the scan, and for a consult, what to do, and we just staying there, overwhelmed, like
Yeah.
laying there, sitting, what's happening. Yeah.
No way you could think the worst news in your life has just been given to you. It's hard to think. It's hard to comprehend.
Definitely not prepared.
Yeah.
Like I'm always the way my mind works is I'm trying to think through what can possibly, like what can go wrong, to sort of replay it, although
Yeah.
it's not very pleasant practice, but it gets me prepared. I feel more prepared and like know how to act and
Yeah.
whatever. But definitely, I couldn't even imagine for something like
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
to happen. And then she came and have a look, and she said that there is something terrible happened with Andrew's brain. I think they've also took from, they have a medical record, so they were able to recall the previous scans, and they went and looked at them and confirmed that they were all normal, nothing suspicious were at those scans, and like all the previous history of visits, because at each visit at clinic they also did a quick ultrasound in
Yeah.
there, and all went perfectly normal, and it's like between this previous visit and this one, on this
Something
day,
happened.
something terrible happened.
Yeah.
And I think at that moment, as far as I remember, I may be wrong now, but what she was saying is that, well, I felt like they were trying to go around it, like they didn't know how to tell it to us,
Right.
in a way that we don't lose it. Or
Yeah.
So I remember, I think I was literally asking them direct, like what this all means, like if what's the problem, is he like will be have disability or something,
Yeah.
or what, tell me, like let's not go around it, and
Yeah.
we can take it. And I think they said that the brain like is destroyed, and there is like they don't see why exactly that, like they see the water, a lot of water, and anatomy of the brain is not right anymore, and they don't know for sure like how viable Andrew would be.
Yeah.
But they say that they would want us to like prepare and do the delivery.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they've also said that they would like to do, I don't know if it was CT or maybe not CT, but MRI scan,
Okay. Yeah.
to go and see in more detail, as to maybe to give them a clue what's, what they cannot see on the ultrasound.
Yeah, and see what has maybe the cause of the
Yeah, and
hydrocephalus.
how big of an impact is there, but
Yeah.
they said like nevertheless we will go to give birth like soon,
Yeah.
sooner than later. And again, I struggle to remember. I think maybe they later like checked that the people at MRI who do this MRI, I don't know, something was that they couldn't take us there right away.
Mm-hmm.
So they said, we will keep you overnight.
Okay. Now this is the same day as
This is all the same day,
all the
yes.
same day. Okay, so it's
This
been a very long
days
day.
that felt like I don't know how long.
Yeah. Felt like eternity. It probably.
Yes. So they put us into this room, and saying that probably like in the morning this scan will happen.
The
I
MRI.
think Natalia was not feeling great, not even because of the news and all the stress, but like just physically, had
Physically, she
some
wasn't.
pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she couldn't, late in pregnancy, it's like you have to find a position
Yeah.
that is comfortable, and you can't lie in like you need to have it on the side, on
Yeah.
special side, and otherwise you can't. But you can't spend too much in that as well position either. So she was like trying to find a place that she feels best. And she said, like, we actually have a puppy, we have French bulldog, who we left because we didn't like, he just stays at home, and we didn't expect it to, we didn't expect for any of this to happen. It was a checkup, and so she said we have someone to mind him, and also if we are staying in hospital, we didn't even take anything with us because Natalia prepared everything already, like that bag with all the stuff when you go to labor, and it all was all ready, but
it
we
was
did
back
not expect
at your house. Yeah.
At house, yes, with all the labels and everything. Bag one for immediate things, bag two after.
Mm-hmm.
So she said, go home and like figure this out and bring more comfy clothes and everything. So that's what I did. I went back home. I took our dog out for a walk because like we couldn't, like no one could take him, but I asked our friend to come over to our house and like work from our house and mind him, be with him. He doesn't need much, just walk him twice and feed him. And I just did this last walk. I remember I called my mom at that walk, and I just said that I don't know what's happening and where it will lead us, but things are not looking great. And Natalia is at the hospital, and I'm just for a short moment came home to pick up stuff. That's, I think, I couldn't keep up and like hold crying.
Yeah.
At that moment, first this evening, because I didn't know what's happening and how to deal with this and what will come out of it. And so I just said that like we usually, both Natalia and me, like chat or call parents often, like regularly on walking or something. So I said that we'll probably not be able to do that, just to let them know, that we will let them know once we have a chance and know something, so that they could try to call and we will be able to take it on. So yeah, and then I took all the necessary things, fed the dog, and went on, left the keys from our house to our friends, and said that we are going to hospital. I think they first thought, oh, it's happening, like happy.
Yeah.
But I think from the looks of me,
they quickly realized
that it's not. And so that's that. I got back to hospital. Yeah, stayed overnight. I hardly remember, was it like any sleep, or it was like some, I don't know, both Natalia and I in this hospital room,
and like you said before, it's sort of like you're watching it out of body. There's a disconnect between what's happening and what you're
Yes,
observing, and
it's like it's happening not with you somehow, but
yeah, you're observing
you
it.
still forced to observe it.
Yeah,
It's strange feeling.
it
It's
is.
really strange
It
feeling.
really is. Yeah. In the morning,
Yeah.
you've
So
taken.
the next day, I think, no, that's like I lost whatever. It's like I can't remember exactly how it went, but
You get the
I
MRI.
think they came to take Natalia to MRI, and I don't remember they sent me somewhere, or I don't remember that I said like, okay, can you do it? I'll join you once I finish whatever I did. I don't know, or maybe I don't remember what exactly that was. It's like blackout, but
Yeah.
yeah. So next thing I remember was that when I came to the place where they doing the scan, like this room, and I think Natalia was still in there. So it was like some, I don't know, half an hour maybe, or maybe more, as Natalia said that she even went to sleep there
Yeah.
for a moment or so. I didn't see this, but I only came when it's over, and she was like taken in this wheelchair out of it. And I think they've put us back to the room while they were processing the
Yeah.
results.
Yeah.
And I think after that, either this doctor that we talked last, the on-call BGYN, or maybe she and another doctor who is like pediatrist, a specialist in kids
Yeah.
health, or maybe they both came because they looked at the scans and they came to deliver the news and explain what's have to happen next. So basically, what they said is that they couldn't explain the reason, but they saw that the brain was completely damaged.
Mm.
Like because of all the water in the brain, like in head, as a result of this, whatever reason it happened, his head became too big for like natural delivery.
Okay.
So doctor said that the cesarean was to happen, and it should happen like really soon
Very soon.
because, well, otherwise it's also like a risk for mom or
Yeah.
Natalia. I don't remember is it this time, or because like they were coming and going, like then explaining how the operation will go and like how it happens there. But at some point, I think this kid, like baby's doctor, he came to us, and there was heartbeat. There still was kicking,
Yeah. Yeah.
everything from those perspective. That's like how we learned that they say that this is important sign, but it's not enough. It's not enough. And he was like came to us to say basically that, and again he tried to be as delicate as possible, because delivering such a thing to parents, I
It's
don't know how
it's
these
terrible.
doctors do
Yeah.
that.
It's terrible news on top of
um,
a terrible event. Yeah.
Basically he was saying or trying to say that parents in such situations, and when there is like heartbeat and everything, and they obviously, no one can accept the fact that there is something terribly wrong with your kid, and that they really want to like fight for his life, for
Yeah.
all the chances, for wherever
Yeah.
it is. And basically the doctor said that the extent of the damage that they saw on that MRI is such that he said that it's like, in his opinion, it's not compatible with life, and that trying to save like his life, revive him, would be extending his agony or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't remember how exactly he said, but extending his like
You're delaying death. You're not extending
exactly
life.
like
Yeah.
there is he said that he doesn't see how he could live any
Any normal life.
resemblance
Yeah.
of meaningful life.
Yeah.
Yes. And like, because probably like even the brain stem was damaged, and you can't live without that, because that's like the core of everything.
Yeah, the
And I
basic
think,
needs of the body.
yeah, they had the reason, like the other signs were there is just that there was probably this tiny part of that brain stem that was still catching the life,
Yeah.
and keeping him, and also mom's body that helped that little heart pump blood. And
Yeah.
so that's how we knew that we still to go to give birth, but the outcome is, yes,
There was no hope for.
no hope. Yes. So yeah, I think then I don't remember what was happening next much in detail, but I remember when it was our time to go for the operation. We like changed this clothes into the gowns that
Right.
they gave us to be in the operating theater. We were like hit with bricks. It was surreal. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
We couldn't believe it, and it's like, I don't know. It was almost coming from completely calm, which I don't understand how you can be in this situation, too hysterical,
Yeah.
to can't hold in a cry.
Yeah.
So yeah, they took again Natalia, I think, in the wheelchair, and like moved, and I just walked after to get to that room where they started preparing. So they took her first for the epidural, and then shortly she came out. I also like changed in that, whatever, put the cap on, whatever they told, put the mask on, because I was to be there.
Yeah.
And it was epidural, so Natalia was conscious.
Yeah.
That was like worst time. I couldn't like this cry, just it squeeze everything out of you. You can't just hold it, and then you manage to prevail and somehow keep yourself together.
Yeah.
And then again, and it was like that, and I was trying to not cry when Natalia was there.
Trying to be a strong front for your
Yeah,
wife so that she could.
if I go crying there, like,
Yeah.
how like, who will be there
Yeah.
for
To help her.
Natalia? And definitely she had to go through much more, like physically. So I had to keep it together. And so then they called us that it's a time. So here in Ireland, I think actually, I don't know, maybe it's not only in Ireland, but there is this number of organizations who help in situations like that. And one of the things that they help with is to, like, you can't be prepared for this. You can't I didn't know about it, but they do know what would be important for you afterwards. So they come with this like instructions and things that you can do to gather as much keepsakes of your child as possible. And there was this teddy bear with I think it's something inside, like with a battery that you can record a heartbeat on. So they've before the operation started, they used the ultrasound machine, which basically also you can switch on the sound somehow and you can hear it. So before they started, they made us hear his heartbeat one last time. And they've recorded it while doing that on this teddy bear and put it inside so that we can take it with us. And then, it started the cesarean section. Yeah, so we basically they put this so that you don't see.
Oh, sort of a
like a curtain,
shield. Yeah.
curtain,
A shield
curtain.
or a curtain.
Yeah, it's like a curtain that separates operation field where doctors were doing things and us, our heads.
Yeah.
So I was holding Natalia's hand, and while the doctors were doing the cesarean, so there was, I don't know how many doctors, 4 or 5, or like everyone was responsible for something. So it was, I can't remember, but it felt like it wasn't too much time before they took Andrew out to the world. They took him immediately to this like child station, where when everything is all right, they measure, do something like weight, and then I think this doctor, the baby's doctor, he's asked if I want to see Andrew, because like they like wiped him, like they just took him out of mother's womb, and of course I went there to that station and first saw him first time.
Yeah.
I think like while they were taking him out, I had a glimpse because I could stand and watch over the curtain.
Yeah.
I remember before, like, because they told us the head is like too big, and even because of this, they said that they had to do an incision like bigger than regular cesarean because, and maybe they actually, I think what they said that they asked us because of the size of his head and all that, they told us that they saw that there is no hope. They said that they might need to drain a little bit of that, like just water, like liquid that is there, in order to make it easier, yes, and not to make it worse for Nataliia because like the incision had to be substantial and it was like more risky, threatening. We agreed to that. I don't know, it's this type of decision and all this sort of questions. I don't know.
It's impossible in the moment.
Impossible.
It's impossible in the moment to know.
I hope no one goes through this.
Yeah.
I really hope it's. But that's what we. That's what we did, and I saw him like glanced, and I saw like he was absolutely beautiful. Yeah, his head was a little bit, but like not that. I know like Natalia was looking at me and like I don't know, maybe she was afraid even to what to expect, to how. And I saw and I said, no, he's beautiful. Like I was like, he's little human.
Yeah.
Like,
He's your precious little son.
yes, and like I said, that he's absolutely beautiful. There's nothing like to be afraid of. And then they took him, and then they asked me to go see. I touch his tiny fingers, tiny feet. He like was all well developed, little human, little boy. He's like big one, like real strong little body.
Yeah.
And his face was so peaceful compared to us. I was looking at my photos, and we've made photos of ours. Like, I don't know, we look really bad. But he was so peaceful. Like, he was not concerned with anything. No worry in the world. And we were the most nervous, concerned out there. And it's like he was there and saying, like, I'm all right. It's.
He was at peace with.
Yes, I think so. That's what I like. You could imagine whatever, like if there was pain or like how imagine this tiny human doesn't know what this outside world is, and like suddenly everything comes over at him, and how to deal with it. I guess you can't explain to him anything, but he was at peace, and
his soul was at peace. Yeah.
Yes, the doctor said that like they assessed him. There was I don't know, this scale that they use to assess little babies, and they check everything. So they said there was heartbeat on his own, and I think there was few attempts to breathe as well, but the heartbeat was like fading away. So it was like not the heartbeat you'd expect healthy baby would do. And because of the stress of the operation, I think once they started doing it, it like went lower and lower. I think mainly because probably it was mom's body that was helping him to have that heartbeat before.
Were you able to?
I think
to hold him and.
Yes, they gave me to hold him, and I made photos, and I think then we had in our bag we had little clothes and like a cap, that everything that we gave to doctors, and so they helped to like fit it, like also because of the size of his head, they had to cut something, but they were really like, they put him nicely, how to say the word,
they wrapped
him in some,
swaddled. They swaddled
him. Swaddled, and put this nice cap with little ears on him. Yeah, they took, like after they finished what they had to do there, they brought Andrew to us and like put him on Natalia's breast here, like, and I was there, and they offered like, do you want to make photos of you, and they helped us to get that, 3 of us there. Yeah, we were crying and looking at him and holding him. He was like this warm little baby, first moments in the world. I think during they gave us like ability to stay like that while doctors were still trying to fix to
stitch up Natalia.
stitch Natalia, yes.
Yeah.
And after they finished, they said like, okay, you can now go to post-operation room. We'll take you. They brought this little cot to put Andrew in on wheels, and then they wheeled us out to that room where they again, like there was a doctor that was there taking his measurements, and he was, I think, responsible for the baby's health. So he was coming checking on us, and a few times while we were there. But he said that like we can spend some time, three of us together. So he gave Andrew, I don't remember, maybe first to Natalia, then to me, or vice versa. So we just sat there holding him, so warm, so alive, looking alive and peaceful.
Yeah.
I don't remember how long it was, but some time. Then I think, lady, she's chaplain, or probably well, obviously they found her and said where we are. So she came over and asked if we would like for her to say a little blessing for baby Andrew, and we said yes. So she said the prayer and put a little cross with holy water, I think, his forehead, and said some supportive words and like let us to further stay a few moments together. And then the doctor, I think, came for another check, and they were like listening to heart and to life signs each time. I think it was maybe we spent with this in this room like 2 hours or something, maybe altogether. And then he came, and after one of the checks had that, okay, I can't hear heartbeat in, I don't know, in a minute or something.
Yeah.
So that's when Andrew like left us and went back.
Yeah.
Did a really short visit. So yeah, like we like to think he was with us. He was alive for 2 hours. Those 2 hours, those peaceful 2 hours, and then he went back up to the skies.
Can I ask how you guys chose the name Andrew?
Choosing the name was a whole process. I remember we were like compiling the list, laughing at some really weird names out there that partly some people have them, but it was really funny. But yeah, we were trying to pick a name like from the list, and we narrowed it down. We also, I think, we started early, and even before we knew who would it be, boy or girl. So we, but then we like reduced the list to some extent, and we tried to find a name that there is corresponding name both in Ukrainian and in English, and that they are spelled similarly.
Very
so
similar.
that we can. And I think also around that time of the year, it's St. Andrew's Day.
Okay.
Somewhere around. And yeah, I think we picked finally picked the name in that operating room. I think maybe it's when the chaplain asked us, we like looked at each other and quickly decided out of those few that we discussed before, Andrew. Do you like it? Yes. Do you
Mm.
like it? Yes. And that's how he got his
He's
name.
got his name. So now Andrew in Ukrainian, would that be Andrei?
Yeah,
Andrei.
Andriy.
Now, do you
Yeah.
call him Andrew or do you call him Andrei? Or do you call him
In
both?
Ukrainian, we call him Andriyko. It's like a smaller.
Yeah,
Uh,
a nickname.
and yeah, and like when we talk with English-speaking friends, we call him Andrew.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, so I
Now,
think after this, they've took us, three of us, to another room, like post where you stay after giving birth, and they had a special wing or like part of the floor where, because it's like a maternity hospital,
right.
so there are moms who are like still expecting, who are in labor, waiting, those whatever, maybe 24 hours.
Yeah.
There are some moms that already gave birth, and so there you can hear children's cry. But like they had this really quiet side of this floor, specifically for situations like ours, and so we got there so that we have calm time there, not.
So you got to spend some time. You got to spend some time as a family in this.
Yes. So that's where we could spend some time, and so they said that they had this special cot that they gave us. It's the one that has like some cooling.
Yeah, here in the United States, it's called a cuddle cot, and it's like
I think maybe it's what it's called.
It's like a
that's what they
refrigerated.
gave us, and they've put us there, and we stayed. I think after we've had people like different doctors, different other personnel that's getting included in this situation, these tragic circumstances.
Yeah.
So they were coming in, checking on us, asking, all saying how beautiful Andrew is, and like then again, I think the chaplain came and explained like what's the options with regards to burial and like what are the next steps, and then grieving midwives as well, they came in and helped, and it, like again explained about those keepsakes and what you can do and how precious that time is, and that it's best to take the most out of it.
Right.
I guess the next thing I remember vividly, because how surreal it was that I had to arrange the burial and figure out what to do. Like, obviously can't make Natalia do that.
Yeah.
So I had to do these calls at funeral home and tell them that my son is dead, and what's the next steps and stuff. And they've explained what can be done.
What did you guys opt for? Did you guys opt for a burial? Did you guys opt for
we
cremation?
went for cremation. And we were like explained, basically arranged this like scheduling, because we were told also from the hospital perspective, they were asking like whether we want a post-mortem and
like an autopsy.
autopsy, yes. We wanted to know what happened, so we said that yes, and they explained like how it goes, and that they would be able to give us some time with Andrew, but then like we'll need to obviously give him to the doctor that will do the investigation.
Yeah.
And how it works and what's needed there. He asked the clothes and how it all works out. So after the autopsy, so like it was, I believe it was Wednesday when Andrew was born, and then we stayed in the hospital for like Thursday, Friday, and we asked. Basically, they said if we wanted to go home,
yeah,
we can do so, because like Natalia was, from physical perspective, they could let it was. They were checking on her and the stitches and everything, so you can just care and come over for a visit. But if you want, you could go. But I think Natalia was like, because his head was like really soft, and because of the liquid in there, and I think it was still maybe drain, like feeling in, and it was really felt fragile, and we were sort of afraid if something goes wrong, if we like will go take him over home with that cot. So we decided if we could, like, because we had to leave him for autopsy, so we had choice whether we go with him for this, because they could take him only on Monday.
Right.
But we said that we decided together that we'll, if possible, we'll stay at hospital for the weekend as well, and just to avoid, if something goes wrong and you will see something like it's, I don't know, Natalia was probably more afraid about that.
Yeah.
So we just decided to stay at the hospital. And yeah, so we had a very peaceful weekend, only few visits from doctors, and I think we were like, the grieving midwives came, helped us with all those keepsakes. So we did footprints, handprints, some photos. We washed him. That's what also parents do, like forced wash.
Yeah.
And then we put on all the nice little costumes we prepared for the occasion.
And
yeah, we were doing all these things, and we were thinking of, like, they told us that after autopsy is done, that they will be very mindful of him and try best, to not harm, if you can say so. But and they asked that what we wanted him to wear after, so that they put on when they give him to us. So I went whatever to the stores to gather some things, and Natalia, our friends, our Ukrainian friends, they presented us like a little costume with Ukrainian embroidery.
Oh, yes.
That we hoped to use. But then Andrew was such a strong little guy, a big one, that it was a bit small in terms of, like, for his feet and for like length. So Natalia decided it was like one piece, so she decided to make a
shirt and a pants.
Short. And pants separately. I just bought a different set for bigger kids, and she was sewing that in the hospital. We were doing all these things together, and then on Monday they came. We had our stuff packed, gathered, changed clothes, and I think they've took us to a room. The chaplain took us to a room where we could can stay a bit with Andrew before leaving him.
Mm-hmm.
And so we left him there, said bye, and left the hospital with Natalia. I think we went seaside to a lighthouse. There is a sea walk, and we just walked there, crying and being silent, and then we returned home. I think it was a few days, and maybe Wednesday or Thursday they called and said that Andrew would be ready for release. So we went there. We've arranged for that exact day and time with the funeral home and where the cremation will happen. And came to hospital. There was a little chapel in there with a little ceremony. That chaplain said we were just devastated. And Andrew was already same, peaceful, not he looked even fresher than before.
Yeah.
I don't know why actually we were, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but he was I don't know, it's tough. And I remember touching him, that tiny little human, that skin and that coldness, after some time, and in that court, and with all the, obviously a few days after, just that coldness is a feeling, can't describe it.
It is such a abnormal experience to be I've lost grandparents and I've lost other people in my family, but when you're trying to hold your child, it's an unnatural feeling. What should be a warm, bright child is not normal.
Yes, it's devastating. And so after that ceremony, the chaplain organized little white coffin for him, and we ordered a nice bouquet, of flowers.
Right.
And they've let us go. We just drove our car with Andrew. Natalia was holding him with her hands, and we I had to take that coffin. I don't know, it's surreal.
So very surreal.
And so we went to this. There is a church and chapel where you can have a little goodbye ceremony before they take body for cremation. So it was really mindfully done. Well, it was such a short notice, and obviously our relatives, it's not that easy for them to come, so it was only us. But we've created the playlist with some of songs we associated with Andrew. We liked that we could put that playlist there, say our goodbyes. So we were just crying there, and we also wrote a letter. Natalia picked somewhere that you can write a letter.
Yeah.
We wrote a letter explaining how much we love Andrew and how we hoped that it will be not like it turned to be.
Yeah.
So we put that with him in coffin and put that bouquet. And Yeah, there is like nicely made, like you place it on this special place
Mm-hmm.
where
Yeah.
then at the end of the ceremony they cover with curtains and move it. So and then you leave. And that's how it was.
Yeah. For me personally, leaving my son for the very last time really just
Yes.
tore the heart out of my just tore the heart out of my body. I
Yes.
felt like a very broken man at that time. And I'm so sorry, Vadim. It's just
Sorry for your loss too.
well, thank you.
I understand.
You know, we're even though we are broken people, we have so much more understanding of each other.
Yeah.
And how have you been this year and a half since having to say goodbye to your son?
Yeah, well, the times right after it, it's all blurry.
Yeah.
Like I can't say I remember too much of it, especially like maybe few months after, or maybe at least months. December, I don't remember completely.
Yeah.
I mean, both Natalia and myself, I had a chance, like we have paternity leave as well in Ireland.
Right.
So it's shorter, but you can,
You
like,
could still take it.
I took it before because you take it. I had it arranged, like, because you prepare before once
Yeah.
your baby is born. And in situation like this where it's that close to be like it's 37, it's almost 38 weeks, and
Mm-hmm.
I think you still can take parental leave in situation like ours.
Yeah.
So I was at home with Natalia, and I honestly don't remember what we were doing for that. We tried to assemble ourselves. Natalia was crying a lot. I
Yeah.
think I wasn't crying as much. I think I've either cried it, like I couldn't hold it back when I was saying that time in hospital. But then I don't know. I am very like sort of private introvert person, and
Yes.
I tend to compartmentalize things, trying to. It's devastating, but I had to be there, and
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do anything. And I remember that we had to wait for the results of the autopsy. And that was also a terrible time because you inevitably think, what did you do wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
what went wrong? What
Yeah.
happened? What didn't we do? What did we miss? And that's hard.
Yeah.
I think,
It's a
yeah.
dangerous thought. It's dangerous thoughts that
Yes, and I think, yeah, Natalia as well. She was she was reading the internet and trying to, find this hydrocephalus, whatever, trying to build a theory and trying also asking, did I do that? Did I do that? And
mm-hmm.
like, obviously, I couldn't join her in that. It would be madness. We just two of us, so
Yeah.
yeah, I try to say that no, it's not. Let's wait for what they find. Let's figure it out. Doctor said that it's not that we could figure it out. So it was hard time for Natalia, even more, I think. And I don't remember how long it took for them to do like a proper report out, and that
Yeah.
this same doctors called us to, provide the results. But few probably months. So we came into the hospital, and yeah, they found the reason,
Oh
um,
yes.
and It's a condition called teratoma. So it's
Teratoma.
basically when, for some reason, something in genome of particular cells switches wrong, and the cells of certain kind start to develop not where they should be developing.
Okay.
So it's as they explained, there is a special kind of cells which start early when the baby starts developing, and it like there for a reason, because those are cells which develop into every little tissue organ that we will need as humans.
Right.
And they like in the midline of our bodies, and some of them are left as well in between the brain spheres. And so those cells can be affected in this because they were like universal cells. They can turn into any tissue. Sometimes something goes wrong. It's very rare condition. But sometimes I think they said 1 in few millions or whatever. Neither of doctors in the hospital ever seen anything like that. So that cells, the teratoma is essentially like a tumor, but it's very aggressive and it develops really fast. That's why we like just in 2 weeks we went from all good to all bad.
Yeah.
And but they tested everything obviously, and they said that other than that, all genetical things were normal. So Andrew was absolutely well developed, normal little boy, and just this one thing, and where it appears, it's like close to this brainstem, right in the middle of the brain, and started to grow, and it basically turned his brain and caused all that hydrocephalus and everything. We obviously like Googled that as well after we learned that this such thing exists, because we didn't know even. And we figured that there are some cases, I think in the US, few of them, that they with similar condition also in the brain, where they spotted somehow because of probably timing of the test is better, that they see when it starts developing, so they try to intervene. But because where it's placed, it's so hard to do even operation, that without damaging critical functions of the baby. And then there was even a case where they actually did it and it went successful, but then because they couldn't cut everything or see everything, it developed again and it went bad. So it's really bad and unfortunate condition, and they kept saying that it's not our fault and that we couldn't do anything, literally anything about it. And that unfortunately they were like right with this condition. Is like just no chance. You can't do anything at all. So I think this, at least some closure, some knowledge of this helped a little bit. I think to me at least. I think to Natalia to a certain extent as well, just to fight these thoughts of what did we do wrong. And yeah, I think in New Year overall we tried to start live again somehow. It was bumpy road.
It's hard to.
Yes, and also I didn't have that much of time. I was coming to a time where I had to go back to work. I actually went and asked GP for extension, like based on just mental condition, like
Right.
you can have a medical leave because of this reason. So I stayed a little bit longer, and yeah, well, that's our story.
Vadym, it is very apparent that you are a husband and a father who cares deeply for your family. It's very obvious that you love Natalia, and it's very obvious that you love and cared for Andrew. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that this happened to you, and that,
Thank you.
even though it is a small thing, a small event that has caused such sadness, hopefully it is also a small event that can show love that you have for your son, that you were so excited to bring your child and show love. And I'm so sorry that you lost him.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry as well. Very.
Well, thank you, Vadym. Thank you for coming and sharing Andrew with us.
Thank you.
If you love chilling mysteries, unsolved cases, and a touch of mom-style humor, Moms and Mysteries is the podcast you've been searching for. Hey guys, I'm Mandy.
And I'm Melissa. Join us every Tuesday for Moms and Mysteries, your gateway to gripping, well-researched true crime stories. Each week, we deep dive into a variety of mind-boggling cases as we shed light on everything from heists to whodunits. We're your go-to podcast for mysteries with a motherly touch. Subscribe now to Moms and Mysteries wherever you get your podcasts.